Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. I'm going to be doing two album reviews today from the great Ian Hunter. These two albums, his most recent albums. The first one was called Defiance Part 1. Looks like that. And then this came out, it says 2022, but it definitely was released, at least here in the States, last year. And then this one, the sequel, Ian Hunter Defiance Part 2 Fiction, which came out this year. These two albums. As you can see, I am an Ian Hunter fan. There are 14 Ian Hunter solo albums here that I have. I don't have every Ian Hunter album. You know, he started out amazing with his debut album, All American Alien Boy, the classic You're Never Alone with a Schizophrenic. I was lucky enough to see that tour. He was playing with Mick Ronson at the time, amazing. Then they did the live one, Welcome to the Club, and a couple of other things, live at the BBC. Then his solo career got a little bit spotty. I think the quality wasn't where these were, and I didn't get all of them. I do have Dirty Laundry. I kind of rediscovered him when he put this one out called Strings Attached, which is an amazing double live album, but it's him with like an orchestra. It's incredible. And that album, I fell in love with Ian Hunter again, because I did love him back in the day, for sure. Like I said, I saw, Schizophrenic tour. But when he put Strings Attached out and I got that, and I also got it on DVD, I was like, that's incredible. And then he just seemed to be in a golden patch. Strings Attached came out in 2003. This one is called Shrunken Heads. This one came out in 2007. And I just thought these albums were fantastic. And then he didn't stop. He put out Man Overboard in 2009. And they were on fairly small labels. This one was on New West, right? Yeah, New West. So they just, I guess nobody releases new albums in classic rock and gets any kind of play or sales. But it was just a shame because, here he is. He had a band, Ian Hunter and the Rant Band. And he put out When I'm President, which this one came out 2016, I think, right? Something like that. And then Fingers Crossed. When did this one come out? 2016, maybe. All of these albums with the Rant Band, he just was in such a groove. He was just on fire. The quality of the writing, the quality of the songs. And it used to frustrate me. It still actually does. Listen, I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. I got like 80 albums, and I think he's incredible. And I do love a lot of his latter-day albums. Time Out of Mind, Modern Times. Those were really amazing records. But like the last one, Rough and Rowdy Ways, I was like, it's just okay. And the critics trip over themselves to say it's the greatest thing. Every time Dylan does something, it's always the greatest thing. And I'm always thinking, what about Ian Hunter? Because Ian Hunter is 85 years old. I mean, he's old, man. He's older than Mick Jagger. He's up in Dylan's time. 85 years old, and he's in a purple patch, man. He is putting out the greatest music of his career, and unfortunately doesn't get much play and much sales. So that kind of leads us into these two albums, Defiance, Part 1 and Part 2. Now, these albums were interesting because they don't feature the Rant Band. They're kind of made up of superstars. And I don't know all the details because he doesn't get any publicity, and I don't really like to research too much because I actually like my reviews to be based on my listening and my ears and what I can pick up. So clearly these albums were made around the COVID time, when people were stuck in their homes. And if you look at the album, so here's Defiance Part 1, and it's on Sun Records. So he got it on, for lack of a better word, a major label, or certainly more of a major label. When you look at these albums, I mean, the cast of musicians is tremendous. And In fact, it's kind of interesting. So this is the back of Defiance Part 1, played by. So, it's a huge cast of musicians produced by Andy York and Ian Hunter. And when you look on the inside, this is an interesting thing, and the other one has it as well. It says engineered by, and there's a whole host. So if I was a betting man, I'm thinking that Ian Hunter and Andy York do the basic tracks, and they're sending those out to these guys who are recording their parts. I don't know that for sure, but that would be what my guess is, and that's why they're all engineered. They've kind of pulled out a miracle on these albums, because the albums do not sound like that. They really do sound like they're playing together. So that is a huge testament to the production of the albums. Let's talk about the albums song by song. So this is Defiance Part 1, and the first song is the title track, Defiance, about 4 minutes long. And it's kind of like what I would consider a pretty standard Ian Hunter chugging rocker. It's got a chorus that goes of Defiance. And it's a good track. A great track? No, but it's a good track. Slash plays the lead guitar. And it's a good, tasty lead and electric guitar from Slash. Ian Hunter plays some guitar on there, which is a rarity on these two albums. His vocals are kind of grungy, the music's kind of grungy, the production's kind of grungy on that track, but it works. It's a good track. The next track is Bed of Roses, and man, that song from the first time I heard it, I'm like, this is incredible. If life was perfect and fair, it would be a huge hit. This would be played on every FM radio station, and people would buy the album, because Bed of Roses is amazing. Ringo Starr plays the drums, does a fine job. Mike Campbell plays all the guitars, and it sounds like a lot of guitar players. The overdubbing is beautiful, and there's just great melodies. It's just an anthemic chorus, man. Bed of Roses, it just totally grabs you. The bridge goes, na, 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 really catches you. It is a classic Ian Hunter song, and it's a shame that everybody doesn't know that. Go check out Bed of Roses on Spotify. You'll thank me. The next song is No Hard Feelings, and Hunter plays like piano on that, and most of the tracks are kind of piano led by Hunter. But Johnny Depp, as you can see, he's playing some rhythm guitar, and he actually has a great slide guitar lick throughout that song, and that's Johnny Depp. Jeff Beck does some lead, which of course is amazing. And the song goes, gonna make a man out of me, gonna make a man out of you. It's really touching. It's really nice. There's a great Jeff Beck lead guitar solo. It's a winner, man. No Hard Feelings, which followed up Bed of Roses. The album is really cooking right there. Then it goes into a thing called Pavlov's Dog. I could read the, where is it? The credits right there. Where's Pavlov's Dog? There it is. And Pavlov's Dog is like another straight-ahead rocker. The vocals are ragged, but what would you expect from a guy who's 85 years old? I mean, it sounds good. It still sounds like Ian Hunter. And he's playing the piano, and that kind of carries through the song. And it's a good generic kind of rocker. Not a great track, but it's a good one. Then he goes into Don't Tread on Me, and that is Todd Rundgren. Right? If I remember right, yep, there's Todd Rundgren on guitar, and Hunter's on piano, and it sounds like an old classic Todd Rundgren song that would fit really nicely on Something Anything. Melodic, catchy. Hunter's vocals on that track are great. He's got a vocal phrasing that is just perfect, and it is a fantastic song. So now we got like four amazing, great tracks so far. That goes into Guernica, and that opens up with this really nice, tasty drum sound that kind of goes through the whole song. Mike Campbell is playing the guitars again. Is another great guitar solo, Hunter on piano. And the song's got this fantastic feel that's led by the drums throughout the whole song. It's just got a nice groove, and it is a wonderful song. There's a lot of sound that's mixed in there, and it's great. This album is really cooking so far, right? From that, it goes to a thing called I Ate Hate. I hate hate, good sentiment. I hate hate. That's how the song kind of goes. Wouldn't it be great if we ran out of hate? Good sentiment. But the reality is, for me, it's kind of a generic rocker. I think that may have been a single, and I guess I could see why, but it's not the kind of track that I love. It's good. That goes into Angel, and there are a lot of superstars playing on that track. Where is it? Right there. You got Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters on drums. You got Duff McKagan on bass. Brad Whitfield on slide guitar. Waddy Wachtel on guitar, and but it's again led by Ian Hunter's piano. And it is a beautiful ballad. Another great guitar solo. It's brief, but it gets right to the point of what's needed. And when I think about Angel, I think about you, is what he sings. And it is a winner. This album is really cooking so far, with the exception of a couple of decent tracks. After that, it goes into Kiss and Make Up. That one's got a really different kind of feel. It's almost like electronic-like, which doesn't fit the rest of the album, but it's not electronica. It's just got like this pulse that's running through it. But then Billy Gibbons kicks in on guitar, of course, from ZZ Top, and I'm kind of thinking, man, it almost is reminiscent of that latter-day hits-based ZZ Top, where it's got that electronica, but it's still got that Billy Gibbons guitar sound. And it works. It just sounds different from the other songs. And it's not great, but it's good. And then the last song on the album is This Is What I'm Here For, which has Waddy Wachtel, if I remember right. Yes, it does, because it sounds like a Stones or Keith Richards' Expensive Winos kind of a track. Very Stones-like, and that's got to be Waddy Wachtel's influence, because he's played with Keith for so long. And Hunter's on piano again. And again, it's good, but it ain't great. So this album's got a lot of highlights. It's not a perfect album. There's no bad songs on the album. And some of the tracks that I just kind of feel like a generic you might actually love if you like that typical kind of Ian Hunter rocker. But it is a really strong record. There is a hidden track, which is I Hate Hate again. And I'm not exactly sure what the difference is. To me, it sounds virtually identical. So, a really strong record. Loving it. That brings us into part 2, which came out this year, called Ian Hunter Part 2 Fiction. That is the backside of it. And again, that is on Sun. And let's go through this track by track. I'll take the booklet out for you here. And it's about 41 minutes. That one is about 50 minutes close, so this one's a little bit shorter. And this is what the booklet looks like. No lyrics. Well, there's lyrics there, but good luck reading them. And it's funny, picture of Ian Hunter on guitar, but he really plays piano on most of the stuff. And it's the same kind of a thing here. It says played by. There's a whole host of characters, and it's got to be the same kind of a structure, because here's that credit where it says engineered by. And again, how's it engineered by all these people? Well, I'm guessing that the tapes were sent out to them, and they recorded their part, engineered it, mixed it together. Again, they did a wonderful job. You never really feel like you're listening to an album that was pasted together. It does have an organic feel. This one starts off with a song called People. And interesting, because look at who's on that thing. You got Tom Peterson on bass and Robin Zander keyboards and background vocals, and Rick Nielsen on guitar, amongst others. Well, it opens with this na 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 na, and it sounds very much like Cheap Trick, that Cheap Trick pop sound, and that's a compliment in a good way, and no surprise based on who's playing on that track. And it's kind of like Cheap Trick with Ian Hunter's ragged vocals running it, and it works good. It's a good strong opener. That goes into a thing called Fiction, and another piano-led song from Ian Hunter. And on that one, you get a really nice, tasty string arrangement that by David Mansfield. That string arrangement kind of drives that song. It's just really tasteful, and it just gives a nice feel through that whole song. I'm your fiction man, it goes, and I'm not alone. It's a little long. It meanders towards the end. I would have cut out a verse, and instead of it being 5.5 minutes, I would have made it like 3.5. But it's good. Next song is The Third Rail. That's going to have Johnny Depp on rhythm guitar and Jeff Beck again on lead guitar. And it's piano led again, but you got the good guitar work. It's got a really nice melody, nice music, and it's better than Fiction. So the album picks up a little bit, in my opinion. That goes into This Ain't Rock and Roll. And right there, that track right there. Again, Ian Hunter on piano. And there's your typical kind of Ian Hunter chugging rock song that just chugs away, Mott The Hoople like Ian Hunter. And that's not a negative. It's very enjoyable, but nothing really special in my mind on that one. This Ain't Rock and Roll. That goes into Precious. That's got Taylor Hawkins on drums and Brian May on guitar. And they drive it, man. As soon as Brian May kicks in and Taylor Hawkins drums comes in, that song just starts driving. And it goes, only takes a minute of your precious time. It's a rocker. It's not a ballad. It's catchy. It's not phenomenal, but it's good. Just got a catchy, only takes a minute of your precious time. It works. The next one after that is Weed. And yeah, it's about what you figured it's about. It's kind of this mid-tempo ballad with a sing-along. It's totally a song-along that if they were playing it live, I think it would be really fun. Let them smoke weed. That's how it goes. Let them smoke weed. Real catchy. It's just kind of cute. I think it's better live probably than on the album, but it works. And after that, we go into Kettle of Fish. Taylor Hawkins on drums again. And you got the return of Cheap Trick's guys right there. And that one is different, because Cheap Trick has different styles as well. And this is kind of like that alternate kind of Cheap Trick. It's kind of a different kind of a sound. It's not that poppy sound. And it works. And the bass drives that song. There is a great bass lick in Kettle of Fish that really drives it home. So it's good, real good. Then it goes into What Would I Do Without You, which is a ballad. And as you can kind of get the gist of, I think my favorite songs from these things, in a large case, is the ballads. And What Would I Do Without You is just a beautiful piano-led ballad. The great highlight of it is that Lucinda Williams sings with him on that ballad. She takes a line and they sing in harmony. And you wouldn't think their two voices would gel, but they sure do. And it is an amazing song. It's the second best song on the album. And when I play it, my wife comes down. She's like, man, that is such a great song. And it sure is. That goes into Everybody's Crazy But Me. And you can see Waddy Wachtel's back on guitar. And what does that mean? It's going to sound very Stones-like and very Keith Richards' Expensive Winos-like. And just like on the last album, that is what I'm here for. Everything, what is this? Everybody's Crazy About Me. It's the same kind of a song. They're very replaceable. It's a good, fun rocker, but it ain't great. And then the album ends with a thing called Hope, which is another magnificent ballad, kind of like What Would I Do Without You, but Hope is even better. It's a classic. It is that good. You want to check out a song from this album, check out the two ballads, What I Do Without You and Hope, because Hope, in a perfect world, there was a time Ian Hunter's song Ships back in the day, and Barry Manilow covered it, made it a big hit, and people don't even know it's an Ian Hunter song. Hope from this album could do the same thing. Somebody should cover that song because it is that incredible. So overall, part 2 for me is a definite dip in quality from part 1 as far as the overall album. But they're both winners. Something like Hope and What Would I Do Without You alone is just two incredible songs. But overall, I definitely prefer the first album over the second album, but they're both really good. Somebody just told me he's going to do part 3, so I'll look forward to that. Ian Hunter, as I said, sorely underrated. I like Mott The Hoople a lot, but I always kind of, don't hate me, I like Mott The Hoople a lot, but I always kind of felt they were a bit overrated. I think Ian Hunter's solo is far superior in general than Mott The Hoople, which is not to say Mott The Hoople don't have some great albums and a whole slew of classic songs. They certainly do, and their live album is fun too. They're a really good band, but Ian Hunter solo, when he's at his peaks, man, is just unbelievable. It's an amazing thing that the guy's 85 years old, and he's putting out like the best material over the last like 10 years. It's just extraordinary. And like I said, Dylan gets all these accolades, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve them. A lot of the albums have been oftentimes really strong, but these are just as strong, if not better. So if there was justice in the world, more people would be listening to latter-day Ian Hunter, and maybe you will. So there's my double-up video right now. That's about it. If you're in the United States, stay safe. Tonight is already the fireworks going off. Tomorrow's going to be the 4th of July. I'm going to post this video in the morning because it is late. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I had a long day, and I wanted to do this. But this will be popping up tomorrow morning. But I hope you enjoy 4th of July. If you're in the United States, stay safe, stay healthy. And worldwide, thank you for watching, and I hope you stay safe and healthy. If you're new to my channel, hit subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.